As a lot of you probably know, I've been producing for almost a decade now, and over that decade, I've made over 1,000 records easily, and I've gotten so much better at producing, writing, mixing, mastering, and just kind of making a song from bare bones. You can even go back on our channel 4 or 5 years ago, and you can see how much better I've gotten since then, and you can kind of follow my progression in real time. But one thing that we've never actually done on this channel is gone back and look at some of my really, really early work and critique that. So that's exactly what we're going to do in this video today. Today, we're going to be looking at a song that is over 8 years old. It's one of the first pop, or at least pop-ish songs that I ever actually put vocals on and finished and released. So I want to go over that, and I want to talk about things that I did surprisingly well for the time. I want to go ahead and give myself some critiques of things that I would do differently now, and I want to talk about some things that just objectively don't really work in my opinion. And by the end of the video, we should have a much better understanding of what 20-year-old me was thinking when he made this song, and what 28-year-old me would do now that I have a lot more experience. If you like this video, let us know, because what we can do as a follow-up is I can actually go in and completely reproduce this song from the ground up and show you how different it sounds. So if you want to see that, let us know in the comments down below. Other than that, my name is Austin. You're watching Make Pop Music, where we have weekly tutorials on music and music production. If you like this video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe, because it helps us out a ton. And then after the video, if you want to support our channel or you want to grab anything for yourself, head over to makepopmusic.com. We have sample packs, preset packs, MIDI packs. We have a course. We have blog posts, tons of free content. So head over there after this video. But let's dive in so we can actually check out what one of my first ever pop songs actually sounds like. So to start, what I'm going to do is I'm going to play a little bit of the song first. I don't have the session. This was literally done in Mixcraft 8 years ago. So I don't have any of the same plugins. I think I was probably using Mixcraft and mostly free plugins from that. So you're going to hear that there are a lot of issues. Let's go ahead and let's just give this a quick listen. I was 20 years old when I made this. I had been producing casually for about 2 years, and this was my first ever venture into pop. Before that, I was doing rock and metal. So let's go ahead and let's take a listen and see where 20-year-old Austin was standing.
It's been a long time since we have talked. I never knew that it'd be this hard. I tried my best to hide my scars. I know you're smiling where you are. Tell me I'm not insane, but I still hold your name in my heart. Tell me you feel no pain. Tell me that you're okay, it's not dark. Tell me you love the way you still see my face from the stars. I'm losing focus. You pick me up from my lows, and now I'm sitting here hopeless, and now I'm sitting here homeless. I'm losing focus. You pick me up from my lows, and now I'm sitting here hopeless, and now I'm sitting here homeless. I wish you would come back to me. I wish you would come back to me. I wish you would come back to me. I wish you would come back to me.
All right, I'm going to cut it out there. That's the end of the chorus. I'm very familiar with the song, so I kind of already have things in my mind that are nitpicks that I don't like. Let's go ahead and let's kick it off with some positives first. Again, this song is over 8 years old. I probably made it December of 2014, maybe January of 2015. I released it February 23rd of 2015 on my birthday. It's about my late grandfather, so I'm not going to dive into like the sentimental lyricism part of it. I still kind of stand by the lyrics. I honestly think that the melody is pretty good. I think that the chord progression is solid. I think that as a song itself, if I strip this back to just vocals and just piano, I do still believe that this is a good song. Like, I think at the core, the songwriting did its job. I don't think that like I would, if I were to remake this, which we could do in a follow-up video, I don't think that I need to completely go in and change chord progressions, change a bunch of melodies. I don't think I need to update a lot. I might add some runs here and there because it's a little one note. But other than that, I kind of like the bare bones of this song. Let's dive into things that right off the bat are red flags to me. So number one, this bass comes in so loud, it's not even funny. Like, I don't know why there's this really big kind of sub bass that is an octave up of really probably where it should be. It's just so much like low mid frequency around this like 90 to 100 region. And it honestly just causes like a woo, 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 woo in the speakers. And it's like disorienting for the entire song. I'll show you what I mean. I honestly think that bass could probably not be there at all for the intro. I would just completely strip it back to just piano. And if I was going to have the bass, I mean, I'd pull it down like 10 dB and take away some of that like really woofy kind of low mid around like the 150, kind of where that like harmonic for that fundamental note would be, because it's a lot. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff happening down there. It doesn't need to be there at all. It's way too much, especially for like a soft piano ballad like this. So number one, remove the bass from the intro, or at least turn the bass down a lot, and like a lot. Other than that, this piano, I like the idea of it being a piano. I'm not super opposed to that. I will say though that this is all like 127 velocity, super cheap kind of piano plugin. I think for such an intimate song like this, if I were to redo this now, or if I had access to better tools at the time, I would definitely make the piano a little bit more soft, a little bit more intimate, and a little bit more lively. When you're doing something with piano, I can kind of show you what I mean. Let me pull up something like Keyscape, which, to be fair, is a very expensive plugin, but it's expensive because it's super responsive. So if I pull up something like this softest grand piano, you can hear how different it is. So I'd probably use something like that for the main piano song, so it's not so tacky and so loud and abrasive, because I mean, this piano comes in full force for no reason in an intro. Another thing is I like the idea of the vocal chop there, but it sounds like it's saying really sloppily. I mean, honestly, we'll get into all the vocals in just a second. But the vocal chop, I think, could be a lot tighter. It could be recorded tighter. It could be tuned tighter. And even for the mixing, I think that we could get rid of some of that high end. It has like this really whispery high end that I don't feel like it needs. I like it as a textural element, but to be honest, you could band past that like low vocal chop. I mean, around like probably 4K, 5K, and it would still do the same thing for the song, but it would open up the top end of the mix a lot. So that's going to cover it for the intro. Other than that intro, I'd probably cut in half. Like a 20-second intro is too much for me. I'm ADHD. I don't want to sit through more than like 10 seconds. So I'd probably cut that down to one pass through, take the bass out, turn the bass way down, filter that vocal chop out a little bit more, and then use a better piano plugin for kind of the basis of the entire song. Now let's go ahead and let's move on to the verse. Oh, one thing that I didn't mention too, you'll hear it. There's like clicks and pops everywhere in this. It looks like I probably took a piano recording and then chopped it and then didn't crossfade. So, I mean, stuff like that is just objectively not okay. Whether you're a beginner or you're a very, very seasoned pro, clicks and pops is just like such an easy thing to eradicate. So make sure you take a look for that. You can hear them here. So many weird little clicks and pops, so obviously that would have to go. Let's go ahead and jump into the verse.
It's been a long time since we have talked. I never knew that it'd be this hard.
Let's just get the elephant in the room handled. The vocals in this song are so off pitch. They're so bad. I was not a good vocalist at this time. I honestly rarely ever sang, and this is my first time ever doing something like this. It was like a stripped back piano ballad. I was used to, if I was singing, I was in like a metalcore band. So for vocals, objectively, timing is okay. Tone, super nasally and thin. Tuning wise, I don't think there's any tuning on these whatsoever. Maybe there was like that G snap tuner, the free one. So if I were to redo this, obviously retrack all of the vocals, sing it a little bit more dynamically, and then obviously it needs some tuning, it needs some finessing. And then just in terms of the vocal mix, this is so insanely bright for a piano ballad. Like, let me pull up the analyzer so you can see. Look at how much stuff is going on here between like 8 and 12K. It's insane.
It's been a long time since we have talked.
I mean, part of that is because I was using a very, very cheap condenser mic. I think on this, I probably was using this Sterling ST59 into a Focusrite Red interface or a Focusrite Scarlett interface. But yeah, the vocals are way too bright. They need a lot of de-essing. They have like this weird hole in the mid, so like they sound really hollow and thin. Overall, I would prefer a much warmer, much more upfront vocal because with this being a ballad, I think that you can get that kind of more intimate vocal performance, especially for these verses, and they just don't need a lot of that top end. This is actually something that anytime somebody sends me something for feedback, I find this to be a really common area where people have trouble is like this 8 to 12K region of sibilance with vocals and just like overly aggressive top end with cymbals or guitars or vocals or anything like that. So keep that in mind because as this area gets really bright and sharp, it makes everything sound really thin. So even if I was just to do like a 4 dB cut on this master.
It's been a long time since we have talked. I never knew that it'd be this hard. I tried my best to hide.
I mean, we're already in a lot better place. So much better vocal performance. Actually go in and tune the vocals. Get rid of a lot of that sibilant, just super sharp, aggressive top end, especially for a piano ballad. And then other than that, like I like what young me was trying to do with like these delay throws. They might be a little bit much though.
It's been a long time since we have talked. I never knew that it'd be this hard.
Actually, no, you know what? I'm totally fine with those delay throws. To me, that's like one of my favorite things that I've done in here. That's probably the one thing that if I had the original stems, I would keep the chain for. So yeah, other than that, vocals not really great. The snap is super abrasive as well. I think that could be darker. And I also think that with something like a snap, I like to layer snap samples that I have. That way it's a little bit different every time. So typically what I've done on this channel in a ton of videos is I'll have a main snap that I drag in that will hit every 2 and 4 or on the 3, wherever that snap's going to sit. So, but then what I like to do is I'll grab a second and a third snap and I'll kind of layer those respectively. So let me just drag in 3 snaps right now. So here's an example of what I mean. These snaps might not go together because I just dragged in 4 random ones and picked them. But you can see right now that snap 1 is going to happen every time, and then snap 2 and snap 4 will alternate. This kind of just creates a more lifelike snap sound. So if I were going back and doing this, that's something that I would do just to add a little bit of dynamics. Other than that, let's keep going.
I tried my best to hide my scars. I know you're smiling where you are. Tell me I'm not insane, but I still hold your name.
That reverse cymbal swell earlier in here, way too loud, probably doesn't need it. I'd probably go with something a little bit more organic, so maybe like a piano swell or even a vocal swell. Other than that, 20-year-old Austin was trying to do his thing with stacking the vocals right here. You can tell that there is a center vocal, a left vocal, and a right vocal, but they're not tight at all. These need to be edited much, much tighter.
I know you're smiling where you are. Tell me I'm not insane, but I still hold your name in my heart. Tell me you feel no pain. Tell me that you're okay. It's not dark. Tell me you love the way you used to see my face from the stars.
So those vocals need to be, again, edited and recorded much tighter, especially if you're doing vocals on the side. One thing that I will say, too, is I like the idea of a lot of the percussion in the song, but I think some of those, like, filtered out kind of, like, either bongos or toms or whatever they were. I can't even remember what samples I grabbed. They're just way too busy, so I like the idea of having an accent. So, like, but this is just, you can hear it. It's, like, going super chaotic.
Not insane, but I still hold your name in my heart. Tell me you feel no pain. Tell me that you're okay. It's not dark.
Like right here, it's like like it's just it's way too much. So simplify the drum arrangement. What I will say too is I've noticed through the first half of this verse into this verse B / pre-chorus, and we're coming up into the chorus, there's not really any dynamics. What I would do is maybe play with some filtering. And again, if I had a little bit more dynamic piano, I'd play this part over here a little bit softer. I'd increase the velocity here, maybe start filtering in an extra pad or an extra synth just to add some stuff. Like I wouldn't use all of the frequency spectrum. I would kind of filter that out and let that open up as we go, just so it builds dynamic. And then again, this bass is just to me so overwhelming for everything in the song. I would either have a completely different bass sound or I would wait until the chorus to bring in the bass. That way the chorus could really pop. Let's keep going.
Okay, it's not dark. Tell me you love the way you used to see my face from the stars. I'm losing focus. You pick me up in my lungs, and now I'm sitting here hopeless, and now I'm sitting here.
All right, so for this chorus, let's go ahead and dive into this. I think that it's just way too much going on. Like, I feel like this song is so soft and intimate, and I like kind of building it up with production and especially like percussive stuff. But to me, like, we don't need a crash on a quarter note. Like, a quarter note crash was an insane choice for this. Other than that, we also don't need like that super, super buzzy synth in here. Like, I like the idea of that counter melody, but it should definitely be a softer, more melodic, more kind of like natural sound, because this like super aggressive EDM synth on this piano and basically like a Drake drum arrangement ballad is an insane choice.
I'm losing focus. You pick me up in my lungs, and now I'm sitting here hopeless, and now I'm sitting here homeless. Losing focus. You pick me up in my lungs, and now I'm sitting.
Also, all those weird trappy snare rolls, pull back on those. I think part of the issue for this, and let this be a lesson to you, is this chorus has way too much going on, and it's way too busy, and it's way too big. Because the dynamics in this verse are so unimpressive, there's that really loud bass and that really hard velocity piano for the whole thing. So to make the chorus feel any bigger, it was like, okay, we've got the bass that's really loud, we've got the piano that's really loud and aggressive. Let's add a bunch more shit on top of that. And that gives you that quarter note crash, which is just a super, super off the mark choice. You have that really bussy, like saw synth thing that's happening. Also not really fitting the palette of the song at all. I'm all for taking things from different genres and mixing them, and, you know, maybe I'll take an EDM element, maybe I'll take an R&B element, maybe I'll take a pop element, but they have to make sense together, or they at least have to be processed to where they fit sonically together. This feels really bright, it feels really big, but it also feels really like suffocated.
I'm losing focus. You pick me up in my lungs, and now I'm sitting here hopeless, and now I'm sitting here homeless. Losing focus. You pick me up in my lungs, and now I'm sitting here hopeless, and now I'm sitting here homeless. I wish you would come back to me. I wish you would come back to me.
I'll be honest, I actually quite like the way that the chorus is written. I still find this chorus to be really catchy. Maybe it's because I wrote it in the first place. But that to me is like the saving grace of this whole song. All of the production, I would basically strip back and just completely redo. So if I were to do this song now, what I would do is I would write the song on piano first. I'd probably add some little intricacies on the piano, considering that this is kind of a ballad. I wouldn't just have it be basically like triad chords the entire time. I'd add some melody. I'd maybe add some extended chords, so maybe some sevenths and ninths here and there, just to kind of give me a little bit more fluid movement, and then I'd maybe change a chord here and there to kind of keep the listener on their toes. So that's the only thing I would change, like, composition-wise. And then for the, like, arrangement and the production, that's where I would kind of go and revisit everything. So, I mean, this is not in, like, a horrible, horrible place, but for something that is supposed to be such a soft kind of personal song, I think it's just way OD. Like, I don't think that we need all of this bass. I don't think that we need this super hard, tacky piano. I don't think that we need like a bunch of trap snares. It almost sounds like I was like, I want a piano ballad with Drake drums and then like future style percussion on it, and then EDM synths in the background, and then like pop vocal chops, and then I want to mix it where everything is turned up to 11. Like, that's exactly what all of this sounds like, which, I mean, at the time was probably what I was doing. So that's all I really want to pick apart. Let me give the chorus one more listen and then we'll wrap up. But as you can see, styles change, taste change, ability changes. I'm sure that there will be people who this to them would be a really good goal to have. And I think that there will be people that watch this video and realize that they are far superior to what this is kind of displaying. So let me give this one more listen, see if there's any little nitpicky stuff I want to pick out.
I'm losing focus. You pick me up in my lungs, and now I'm sitting here hopeless, and now I'm sitting here homeless. Losing focus. You pick me up in my lungs, and now I'm sitting here hopeless, and now I'm sitting here homeless.
One thing that I will say is I talked about it a little bit in terms of dynamics with frequencies. Another thing is everything in this song is so wide that nothing feels wide. It's one of those things of like nothing has a really focal point. So if I were to go back, even if I had these stems to mix them, I would make sure that the bass has its spot, the piano has its spot, these weird little synths that really don't fit still have their spot, and then vocals would have their spot. And I think that if you do that, there's going to be much less clashing frequencies. You're not going to have that vocal be so bright to sit on top of the mix. You're not going to have these drums be so like abrasive, but then also kind of buried. I don't know. To me, like the whole balance of this is just a little bit off, and it's fine. Like I was 20 years old. I did put the song out for the world to hear. It is gone now, though. You're never going to find the song on the internet. But like at the time, I was very, very proud of it, and like I don't regret making this song. I don't regret releasing this song, but I also don't regret sitting here for however many people are going to watch this tutorial and absolutely tear it apart. I think that's what we need to do as producers and mixing engineers and songwriters is reevaluate our old stuff so we can figure out what we like and what we want to kind of keep and incorporate into our style, and then figuring out things that we just want to completely toss out the window and progress on. So that's going to do it for me tearing apart my first ever pop-ish song that I ever released. If you like this video and if you actually want to see me reproduce this song from the ground up in my current style with my current skill set, let me know in the comments down below. I think it would be a fun little challenge to see how I would make the same song at its core, so same chords, same vibe, same lyrics, same melody, but completely redo the production and completely retrack everything with my current abilities. It could be fun. So if you want to see that, let us know in the comments down below. Other than that, let us know any other videos that you want to see in the comments down below. If you like this video, please make sure you like, comment, and subscribe because that helps out our channel a ton. And if you want to support our channel, you can head over to our website, makepopmusic.com. We've got free stuff over there, so free samples, free presets, free infographics. We've also got paid stuff, so we have a bunch of sample packs. We've got some Serum preset packs, MIDI packs. We have a start-to-finish production course. Lots of really, really cool stuff, so head over to makepopmusic.com and check all of that out right now. But that's going to do it for the video this week. Please go easy on me in the comments. I'm trying to be vulnerable, showing you guys my earlier work. So let me know what you think down in the comments down below. I'll see you guys next week with much more content. Much love, everyone. Peace.